Following the release of Travis Scott and Kid Cudi's song The SCOTTS, talks started circulating from them about the potential of a collab tape. The two even teased the idea of a full tape between them on Instagram Live the night the song dropped on April 24th, 2020, but to fans' confusion, over 3 years later and we still have no The SCOTTS album. Matter of fact, the most recent piece of musical collaboration between them just dropped in July, with Travis linking up with Cudi to make Love on Utopia. With so little information being publicly known about The SCOTTS, it's only led fans to become more curious about what really happened. So in this video, I will be trying to recount everything we know about the music these two artists have made for a potential collab album that may or may not still be in the works. Before we get into all the potential songs worked on by Travis and Cudi for The SCOTTS, we first need to figure out whether this album is even still being worked on or being considered for release. The last time it was mentioned by either Travis or Cudi was at the end of July of this year, after it was revealed that the two had linked up to work on music for Travis's album Utopia. Naturally, fans started questioning Cudi about whether this meant that we could expect The SCOTTS to drop now that he was back to working with Travis, and his response is honestly a bit confusing. In his reply to a fan on Twitter, he first explained why nothing else ever came out from the two besides the first The SCOTTS song after it was so popular, saying that essentially the moment had passed. This gives context to and lines up with when Cudi replied to a fan on Twitter 8 months before this in December of 2022, saying that the SCOTTS album was no longer in the cards. In his July 2023 tweet, Cudi also says that him and Travis hadn't talked about doing the full album since the single, which led Cudi to believe that it wasn't happening. But after Travis mentioned it publicly again, things may have been revived. Cudi also said that after Travis talked about the album, he talked with him about it, who confirmed that the SCOTTS was definitely still in the cards. So this tweet has honestly left me more confused about the SCOTTS than before when neither of them were talking about it. It seems like following the single in 2020, both artists were definitely down to do a full collab album, but I'm guessing that the pandemic really messed with this, which led to both of them focusing on their own individual careers. And then from there, both of them probably thought that if the other one really wanted to do the SCOTTS, then they would reach out, so they'd each convince themselves that the other person wasn't feeling the tape anymore. Again, that's just my guess based on what Cudi is saying in the tweet. I feel like that's the vibe he's giving off. Like, because Travis didn't explicitly continue to hit him up about the SCOTTS, he just assumed Travis didn't want to do it anymore, but in reality, he did want to do it, but Travis didn't know that Cudi was maybe waiting for him to reach out and confirm that. A very, very big communication difference in a nutshell is what it seems like. So I suppose that leaves us now with the SCOTTS being back on the table. It seems like even Cudi doesn't know. Like shit, he just recently figured out that Travis did still want to do the album after assuming he didn't for years. I feel like as a fan, the best way to proceed is with cautious optimism. We know these two were working on music throughout 2023, so I'd say at this point anything is possible, and now that the SCOTTS is being brought back up and discussed again, I'd say the odds are much higher now for an official release than they were in 2021 and 2022. Well, now that we know where the project stands in the eyes of both artists, let's get into all the music that we know they made or worked on together for a potential The SCOTTS release besides the original single. Starting off, we have a song titled Out of My Mind that was produced by Oz, and this was actually teased on Instagram on April 23rd, the same night that Travis and Cudi dropped the SCOTTS song. This one would also later be played at the Road to Utopia event on September 17th, 2022, so maybe a sign or an indication that it's something Travis and Cudi are still working on. This is basically confirmation that they did indeed work on more songs than just the SCOTTS for a collab album, and Out of My Mind as a whole sounds quite nice, so if the album does eventually come out, I would 100% want this one on there.
How we doing? Couldn't tell me what the future holds. When it's cold and it's me and bro smoking plenty. What you know about the dog and dog?
then I want to talk about Vision, that was used by Kylie and Kendall Jenner as part of an Instagram promotion on June 20th, 2020. Now, this is about 2 months after the SCOTTS song dropped, so it would be around the time that Travis and Cudi were working in the studio together. When the original file for the snippet of the song was put into a hex editor, it revealed that the file name was travcud_2.aif, meaning that this was most likely intended for the SCOTTS, or at least considered to be included. We have no clue if Cudi ever recorded for it, so maybe it was like something that Travis made and was going to have Cudi hop on if they had continued to work on the album. Or it could have been something they did when originally working together in early 2020 and Kylie just cut out Kid Cudi's vocals. Unfortunately, we have no idea, but the fact that the file name has both Trav and Cudi is at least enough to question whether Vision was meant for the SCOTTS. To round out our discussion of songs potentially meant for the SCOTTS Travis and Cudi worked on, we have two pretty interesting fully finished tracks from this year. Both of these feature vocals from DJ Drama because they were both intended to be included on Kid Cudi's next album that was titled Insano, which was originally a collaboration made with DJ Drama. This was the version of his album that leaked a few months ago when like the entire thing surfaced online. First we have Get Off Me, which is just Travis and Cudi, and then At the Party, which also has feature vocals from Pharrell along with Travis and DJ Drama. These are kind of weird because it's definitely possible that they were meant for the SCOTTS initially and then got converted to DJ Drama collaborations for Insano, but now that Cudi's album is delayed and probably being reworked after the entire thing leaked, I feel like the songs might go back to being the SCOTTS material, should these two decide to fully revisit the concept. My gut tells me though that both of these songs were made in 2023 when Cudi and Travis linked up to work on Utopia, so going forward I would not be surprised if they either ended up still releasing on Cudi's next album, albeit without the DJ Drama vocals, or ended up releasing on the SCOTTS if that actually comes out. Personally, I'm a huge fan of Get Off Me. I really like that sound, and At the Party is good as well, so I'm really hoping these two can be released on either the SCOTTS or maybe on Cudi's new album.
Now watch the competition disappear. Poof! Poof! In this set we go. You boss it. Better nigga cool than the motherfuckers talking.
Okay, tense is off, okay, top is off, okay, now I get off, okay, not talking time when I say I hit exhaust, okay, green like malls, diamonds hit like Voss, okay, she know how to lay it, land, she know how. We were just there at the party. I was just there at the function, had the shit bumping, living Westwood with the buttons. I went no limit with the budget, P in the cutty, had the
always thinking Virgil. I was always hit with the no-no. Gave no fucks, I'm the normal. Yeah, something different. Everybody wanna talk shit till they get punched in the lizard. It's a punk business. I don't give a fuck.
Based on how little material and snippets have come out for the SCOTTS over the years, I honestly don't believe that Travis and Cudi ever intended to make anything more than just the original single. Not to mention the absolutely awful communication between these two that basically resulted in the collab album as a whole being dead in the water for a few years. Maybe now that Cudi has talked through things with Travis, we will actually see more work from them, but I'm not 100% sure we can really expect anything. Travis is just coming off Utopia, and Cudi is scrambling to rework and finish up his album for a drop early next year, but honestly, you never know. All we can really do is pray that they hop back in the studio and cook up together. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and let me know down in the comments which potential the SCOTTS song is your favorite.